Everyone is panicking right now in the crypto space. The crypto sentiment is the lowest it's been over the last 1 to 2 months, and people are selling and panicking. But yet, this is exactly when the market usually does the opposite of what everyone is expecting. Now, we've had the clearest clue in history on the total market cap chart on the monthly time frame. We finally closed the monthly candle, and this is exactly what I've been talking about in my videos. I said to you, I want to see how the monthly closes. What we wanted to see how the monthly taps into our key regions. We tapped into our OTE level and we closed above the 2.74 trillion region, which is 78.6. That's one of our biggest key clues that the price action on monthly is not ready to move lower into a bearish market. Now, secondly, unfortunately, we didn't get to close above the 61.8, but as we had the last couple of hours of the monthly closure, we were above. Then we had the aggressive sell off to the downside, and we had this move to the downside, opening the new month. Now, I'll come on to the new month in a second, but what we can see is as price has come down and tapped into our key levels, we've closed above those key levels. We also have this trendline liquidity. Now, this is a very clear sign to say 1, 2, 3 tapped into it and closed above this trendline liquidity as well. This is a very clear sign for us. Now, the crypto sentiment that we're hearing right now is very, very bearish. However, last week when we had the move to the upside, which was bullish, sentiment was bullish. People were thinking we're back in the bullish market and we are looking for all-time highs. Now the sentiment has changed down here. One of the biggest things is stay away from social media, stay away from what people are saying on social media, as it's going to skew your bias and make you sell too early. Now, on the weekly time frame, we can see that we tapped into this order block down here, closed above. It's a good clear sign. We fulfilled this market maker sell model to the downside, which is also a good and clear sign for us. Now, what we had was this bearish move as we opened the new month. Now, I am not surprised because this is exactly what we expect. Normally, we see manipulation within the first 1 to 2 weeks of the month. Therefore, when we see the opening of a new month, the manipulation can come to the downside and take out risk number one, which is previous month's low. Our second risk level is price coming in and taking out this sell side liquidity, which is around the regions of 2.3 trillion. So those are your downside risk targets right now. If we do get the full blown move to the downside at 2.3 trillion, nothing will change for me. But the most important thing is if we get this move to the downside, I'd like to see it very, very aggressive to the downside and very, very aggressive to the upside. Ideally, we don't want to see a close below this trend line. So if we get the move to the downside, I want to see the move back up, closing around the region we're at right now, essentially. This trend line liquidity is very, very important for us. On the daily time frame, I've given you what our downside risks are, but what we can see is we may not get to the downside because price has tapped into our OTE level, the 61.8 on the daily time frame after we had that aggressive sell-off. We can see on the 4 hour, price printed this aggressive sell-off. We've created a wick down here. Now, I may look for longs on Ethereum and BTC if we get a move lower, tapping deeper into the 61.8 and also this order block. So call it around 2.87 trillion. If we can get a move around here, I will look for moves to the upside. Now, if we don't get that move, we may come a bit deeper into the 78.6 and price will tap into around 2.8 trillion. And then if we don't get that move and it continues moving down, we have our downside risk of the previous month's low. Now on BTC, we're looking at price a bit differently because what we can see on BTC on the monthly time frame, although we've respected some of our key PDRAs, we've tapped into the 78.6, we've closed above it, we've closed below the 61.8. Now, the only thing I can say on BTC is we've taken out and broken this trend line liquidity. Now, this is one of your key signs that may result in BTC not taking out all-time highs. Because we've taken out this trend line liquidity down here, we may not get the move on BTC in this cycle taking out the all-time high. Now, this is our risk on BTC, because what may happen now is we have a break and we may just get a retest to the upside, tapping into at least 100K, and may not take out the all-time high, and we can just move down from here. And we can also suspect that we can have a fib this high to this low, and price will come into the regions of around 100 to 110K. So we want to keep that in mind on BTC. Ideally, we don't want to see that happening, and we do want to see BTC taking out all-time high. But I do feel like Ethereum will be the main move to the upside. Now on BTC, what we can see is we've tapped into the order block down here. We've closed above on the weekly time frame, which is a good sign. We have some downside risk on BTC around the regions of 74, 75K. Now, downside risk number one, like I say, is the 74 to 75K. There is a shorter term downside risk, which is the previous month's low, which is around 80K. So we want to look around those regions. If we can tap into those regions, I will look for longs, and I'll look for aggressive longs to the upside if we tap into that region. Now on the 4-hour, like I say, there's a possibility for a long position, high risk. If we put on our fib, we want to see BTC come in slightly lower, which will result in the total market cap tapping into that region I spoke to you about. And if we can get BTC around the regions of 85,300, I will look for an entry to the upside down here. We will also take out this liquidity, and I'll put my stops just below the 78.6 level. Now, if we come deeper and lower, I would probably likely take another position to the upside, because we probably just move slightly lower around the regions of 83K to 80K. I'm looking for entries around those regions to the upside on BTC down here, but nothing has changed. I am still very bullish on BTC and also on the total crypto space right now. The only issue that we have on BTC right now is we may not get the full-blown move to the upside to take out the all-time high. Now on Ethereum, we can see we do have a bit more downside risk on Ethereum. I said to you, I wanted to see Ethereum tap into around the regions of 2K. We haven't yet moved to the 2K region yet. Now we've had the move to the downside on the monthly of November. We tapped into the 61.8 and closed above it, which is a good and positive sign. Now the second thing that may happen for the month of December is we've already had the move to the downside. Can we come in and take out the previous month's low of November? Around the regions of 2.6K is where I'm looking. Now, if we do come in and take out previous month's low, ideally I want to see this order block get tapped into. And to be honest, ideally I'd like to see around the 2K region taking out this area down here. So I'd like to see an aggressive move to the downside and aggressive move back to the upside. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to happen, and it all depends on where the total market cap is at this point. Now, if we do get that move to the downside, it's likely that the total market cap will take out our sell side liquidity, 2.3 trillion. Now, if we get that move to the downside, that's our downside risk, and that's where we should be targeting. We will look for short positions to the downside. But for me, things are looking really, really good on Ethereum as well. We got this low to this high. Prices tapped into the 61.8 on the daily time frame. We can see on the 4-hour, we've printed this very strong bearish engulfing candle. Ideally, I just want to see a strong bullish engulfing candle, but I do want to see price just come in and take out this low first, and I may look for entries to the upside, high risk, bullish engulfing, prices taking out all of this liquidity down here. If we come in a bit deeper, I will look for entries to the upside, and we may even take an entry with a larger stop loss just below the previous month's low, and we can target our areas down here. Now, the sentiment is very, very bearish, and I know it's hard to believe that we are still in a bullish cycle. You need to stay away from social media. You need to see based on analysis on the technical analysis, what the charts are showing you, and stay away from anything that you see on social media. Now, I'll keep you guys updated if anything does change, and if I take any positions, follow me on my Twitter page. I have linked the Twitter tag below in the description. Now, if you like these types of videos, I trade crypto using ICT. So like, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.